Okay, what's up guys? Welcome to day 45 of playing the French. Okay, let's go. Protect the center. And then he tries push. We're gonna get out our knight. If he pushes, we go down and then attack the knight again. The pawn again. Sorry, yeah. Just rotate. Okay, now attack in the center. We'll get the queen out. He attacks my queen. We just go back, or we maybe check him. We could check him with the bishop. He takes, check, and then the knight is protected by the rook. So maybe that's not a good idea. What if we check with the queen? He can just defend with the knight. So we're just gonna go back or defend also with the bishop. And maybe we can attack the pawn in the center. We push the pawn on f4-7, and yeah, we have to think that this knight is now on the wrong square. So yeah. We have to try to reroute the knight because he blocks the other knight. So we're just gonna push the pawn and attack in the center so we can reroute our knight and then get the bishop out, attack the center. Yeah, we have to maybe find a way to attack the knight who's on the rim. If he attacks with the bishop, what can he do? I don't feel like he can do anything. We just take. Okay. Yeah, this attack looks very strong on the king's side. He has all his pieces out. The bishop, the queen, and he's checking me with the queen. We're just gonna block. Oh no. Now if we take, he can get the rook. But if he moves the knight, he has a discovered check, but I think we still have to move the rook. Okay, it's a check, have to move with the king. I mean, this is a horrible attack because he now has a check with the knight. When we move that, and it's again a discovered check, but where can you go? I don't think he can go anywhere with the knight, so we just move the king. What if we double the bishop? How we can get rid of the rook? If he checks with the bishop, then we block with our bishop. If he checks with the knight and pulls out the bishop to check, we have to move away in front of the queen, and he goes back with the bishop and can pin our knight or king on our queen. It's just terrific. Okay, just gonna move and then block the knight, the bishop. If the bishop comes and checks us, now he moved the queen. Maybe we move up the rook and we block the queen and attack the queen and the knight. Yeah. And then what can we do? We can also still check him with the queen. But if he comes with the bishop, we take the knight. But we have no squares to go with the knight. It's horrific. I don't know what to do. Yeah, if he checks with bishop or queen, we can just take the knight, I feel like. And then we should be alright. He's attacking, so we try to exchange as much pieces as possible. Yeah, and he has a horrific time management. I mean, he's 6 minutes down. So if I don't blunder the position, I could win this on time because he nearly has half his time lost and we're still in the opening. Although he's up 2, so it's very critical. It's very difficult. Yeah, but I feel like he's gonna attack with the bishop, check us, or move the. Nah, he has to move the queen. So we checks with the queen. Then we just block with the knight. We can also check with the queen after we get rid of this pawn in the center and then reroute our knight. Because the knight on c4 is very good. And we can also take the pawn with the rook. He checks us. We're just gonna take the knight. I hope this isn't a mistake. He can check us with the queen. But what else can he do? We can maybe attack with the bishop or just move our knight or king. And then see what happens. I mean, this is very dangerous. I mean, now we're not down as much in material, but we're still very dangerous position. And then he's moving the bishop. Why did he go there? We can just take the pawn, attack the bishop, and we still block the line with the, or protect the line with the rook. So I don't feel like it's that big of a mistake, but he cannot check with the other bishop, the light square bishop, because of the rook. And we want to exchange the bishop because he's attacking. We need to exchange the material, but if he doesn't hurry up, I mean, this just lost on time. He's checking. We cannot block with the rook because of the bishop. We move our king. He can now check us with the bishop. Yeah. We should block and attack the queen. And then I feel kind of safe. He can put the queen down. Yeah. On h7. And then we have the only squares there. But then he goes back with the bishop and attacks our queen. So we just have to move down. Yeah, we can block with the pawn and the knight and then maybe alright. But I don't feel very secure in this position. It's very wobbly. Yeah, we just push the pawn. The queen is also attacking. And if he takes with the pawn, then everything's blocked because the pawn, the knight is blocking the square. I thought I had this square to move away with my king, but I haven't. So this is very dangerous. He's checking. And just gonna move out the way, but which square? I think. What? He takes with check. I cannot do anything. He gets the queen with the bishop. I have to move to the. I think the dark square is safer, but I have no idea. Can now check again with the bishop, and then we have to go to the light squares, or take with the rook. And if I move up, he also has the light squared bishop. I mean, this is just horrific. Horrific position to be in. Just gonna move there. If he checks me, I can take with the king, take the pawn. My plan is also to check with the queen, taking the pawn, so I hope he doesn't check me again. So I have something to attack also. Checking me again and also getting my rook. Nah, I didn't see that. But now I try to check him back and maybe find some tricks. Yeah, he takes the rook. I check. He blocks. I can push the pawn. I feel like he should have blocked with the other bishop or with the queen to exchange the queens, because now this bishop is pinned and I don't think he can do anything. I just move out the king and then what can he do? He cannot check me on g7 because it's blocked by the queen. And I can also take with the bishop. If he checks on h7, I block with the bishop. If he checks, I cannot check with the bishop because it's pinned. But this looks okay. I mean, he's up a pawn in material. When I take, and now I can just take because the queen is defended by the knight, and we cannot take again because it's check. Take the pawn because it's check, and now I'm just gonna develop and try to hinder the king from castling. Maybe go with the knight, check him. Maybe exchange the bishop. I don't know. Or we can. Oh, I missed the fork with the knight. I could have forked. Yeah, also take the bishop. He takes, but I missed the fork. Yeah. Okay, he's developed, but we can try to trick him. We pin the rook to the king. If he pushes the pawn, yeah, exactly. Now this just pinned. And then we take it with check, and we also get the pawn. So this should be a GG now. And like I said, just exchange everything. Move the bishop out the way, and he has 1 minute to go. So just don't blunder anything, just develop normally. Attack the king. We just try to get the pawn. Sorry. Now we exchange. Now he blundered just the knight, and now this is just desperate moves. Maybe where should I go with the bishop? Check him. Cannot push the pawn because of the rook. We would just double attacked it, and now try to exchange everything, so simplify the game to make the end game easier. Although he's also losing on time. Try to get the king on the same diagonal as the rook to maybe trick him, but he didn't fall for it. We're just gonna attack the pawn, and this should be GG. This take, and yeah, he could have just check us and take the pawn, but it's okay because we exchanged pawns, and then we'll just move this forward and then defend with the bishop the 2 pawns, and it should be alright, and try to get rid of his remaining pawns. Just grab the first one, take it, now defend the rook, and then everything should be alright. Yeah, very straightforward. Now we cannot take with the knight because the rook is defending. We push because then we can get it with the rook. And now this, everything's on. I don't know. He blunders the rook. It's okay. Just push away the bishop and defend the knight, and this should be gone. So move this, check, and it's time over. Cannot check there because he takes the knight, and it's the timeout. We won on time. The first game was very good. Okay. Now let's go for the second game. Let's play with white. Play the Vienna. Open up just like we always do. Same opening. Push the pawn in the center and then attack his center pawn with our pawn. And then develop the bishop. Now we develop the knight, attack the pawn in center. Just castle to unpin the knight. Now push the knight into the center, so we attack the bishop and also the other knight. And then just take with the bishop, take the pawn, unpin our queen first. After that, he takes some things in the center. Now we have a fork with the pawn, but he takes, and then we take. Yes, and then he maybe attack the rook, and then we move it up. Then we take the pawn in the center after he moves the bishop, which I hope he does. Yeah, the rook was pinned on the knight, on the king, where we can push. Bamboozled ourselves out of the pin. Now we defend maybe with the bishop and also develop it. And also we have to get rid of his knight. His knight is very strong. I mean, yeah, and then get the queen on looking at the king. Move the bishop out the way. Just take. Defend the pawn so we can move the queen. Put the queen attacking the king side and also making space for the king, for the rook. So looking the king, then we maybe can attack with the bishop. Also push the pawn, so the center pawn of the king side is pinned. The G7 pawn. And also maybe get rid of the bishop, which is defending. Yeah, put the rook there, so we can push the pawn if he takes with the pawn, and we take with the bishop is there. You push, he takes. If he takes with the, if he goes back with the, if he takes the pawn with the bishop, we can take with the queen because the pin is the pawn is pinned. What can he do? Can push with the rooks, moving the king. Now attack the bishop, although now the bishop can attack the queen. He defends. We cannot take the bishop because the queen is protecting it. If we push the pawn, he takes with the bishop, and then the queen is attacked. And also the queen is defending things. We have to reroute our bishop to get rid of his bishop, or our light square bishop. What else? Because this bishop is very strong, I had to get rid of it. Our bishop is a little bit pinned. We push, she takes. Now this is... the bishop is double attacked because of the rook, but we can just push our queen there and then defend everything. And also get rid of the bishop. So he made it more easy for us to get rid of this bishop. We just exchange. No, if he takes with the rook, we also exchange the rooks. Get there with the queen. Yeah. And then we can move out the way. Double. If he checks with the rook, defended by the bishop, then we push the pawn and try to attack the king. I don't think this attack, where can you go with the queen? Just make square for the king, so if the queen checks, we can move. If the rook checks, it's defended by the bishop, we can just take it or defend it. Block with the bishop. He takes. We try to push. We hope that he takes the pawn, so we can attack with our rook and queen. Okay, he checks us, we move. Now what can he do? He's gonna go there with the queen, attack the bishop. We go back. Oh, he pins the queen to the king, but we can block with the bishop. Now we take. Okay, he takes. But now we can take with check. The bishop, that was a blunder. We can just take. Yeah. Just take and check, and then just block again with the bishop, so the queen is protected. Should be alright. If we take, he takes, check. Cannot take because it's check. We have to take back with the rook or the king. Yeah, just block. If he pushes, we unpin our queen. Yeah, what? Go there, try to defend with the king, because the bishop is double attack with the rook and the queen. And then if he checks again, we just move forward again. You can also do this and get a draw, so you can maybe get a draw out of it, but okay, checks with the queen, just move forward. Okay. I feel like we can just take with the pawn, yeah, and then check. Oh, no, it's pinned. Okay, our rook is pinned. Otherwise, we could check. He takes, and we take with the queen. Check him again. But then what happens? Okay, we take, check, takes with the pawn, we check with the queen, moves the king, we check him, but he can take the bishop with the rook, and just move. Yeah, we unpin the rook, so we can move. Or just attack. Oh, we cannot move the rook. Okay. Just unpin our queen first and then unpin our rook, because he can check Then we have to block with the rook, and then he has a double attack on the bishop. So we have to unpin. We cannot unpin moving forward because then he has a check. So yeah, just unpin the king. And then we can move the rook forward, attack the queen. Can also attack the rook and the pawn. If he tries to defend, we just move up with the queen. We get a pawn. Nice. Should be okay. Now he defends. Yeah, he can also pin our bishop. No, he didn't see it. Can pin our bishop. But then we could have taken the rook, so we just attack the queen. He pushes the pawn. Double attacks our bishop. We have to defend. The only way is, I think, to defend with the queen. Try to exchange, make it more simple. And then if he takes, we can also, he blocks. He protects the pawn. We just exchange. So we simplify the endgame. He takes, we attack the rook. And can also open up with the bishop. Okay. He defends. We can just attack with the bishop, attack the pawns, but if he pushes, yeah, it should be okay. If he pushes the pawn, we can just exchange, and we also defend the other pawn from moving forward. If he pushes the pawn, we take with the rook, and then we should defending everything. Yeah. And this should be okay. He takes. Okay, moves with the king. We try to get to the rook because his king is cut off from the party with our rook. We just stay and he blunders. So sad. Would have been so interesting to see the end game going, but now it's a fork, and then yeah. I'm sorry, guy. Okay, guys. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and subscribe.